Hello, everyone. Welcome to this month's Songwriters Circle, hosted by me, Jonathan Wiskard, songwriter and songwriting tutor at ICMP. I'm joined by some of my lovely fellow songwriters, students who are part of the ICMP community, and also by the magnificent Emily Burns, who joins us today as our special guest. Hello to all of you writers. Thank you for being with us today. And hello to all of you at home. We are, of course, all at home at the moment, but we're still able to do things like this, which is kind of magical, really. So it's a real pleasure to be here. This event is part of ICMP's Equalizer series. And so we're very proud to celebrate a whole range of diverse backgrounds and identities at ICMP. And some of us might be talking about that today. And we're certainly looking forward to hearing everyone's songs and hearing a little bit more about who they are and how they got to where they are. So I'm not going to do introductions up front. I'm going to start by playing a song myself and introducing myself a little bit, and then we'll be going around each of the writers in turn, and every writer will play 2 songs in total, except for our special guest Emily, who will be playing 4 songs, I believe, which we're very much looking forward to. So for those of you who don't know, the Writers' Round, or the Songwriters' Circle, as we call it, is actually a Nashville concept. So it comes from the kind of fantastic and rich and vibrant writing community and songwriting culture that exists in Nashville, which is not just about country music, by the way. It's kind of music written in every genre. But it basically is to songwriting what Hollywood is to film. So there's an absolutely fantastic culture there and a community of songwriters who write songs all day, every day, basically. And the Writers' Round is an opportunity for writers as opposed to artists or performers. So writers who are the kind of the men and women who sit in usually little windowless rooms and studios all day, writing songs that other people then go on to record and perform and in the way that we know them. They'll be sort of working away and writing songs. And so when you go to Nashville, you get to go to these writers' rounds and hear the songs in their most kind of, in their rawest form, in the kind of usually at just piano or guitar. And what's most interesting is you get to hear the writer talk about how the song came to be. And, because these writers are kind of global superstar writers, they often have fantastic stories that go with their songs. So I'll be asking each of the writers today to say a little bit about their work before they play it. So yeah, looking forward to getting stuck in. So let's have a wave from all the writers. I just want to check that everyone's here and we're all online and okay, great. So as I said, my name is Jonathan, and I've been a member of the songwriting faculty at ICMP for 10 years now, which is kind of weird when I think about it. And yeah, I'm a writer as well, a freelance standalone songwriter. So I write with lots of different artists, and I'm very passionate about helping people write the songs that they want to write. So, and that's both as a songwriter working with artists and as a songwriting tutor working with students at ICMP. So I always really enjoy that part of my work. Today I'm actually going to play 2 songs that I've kind of that were written for my own project. So the first one I'm going to play is a song from which is probably about 7 or 8 years old now, which was a single that I put out as an artist a long time ago. The reason I'm going to play it is because it's very much to do with my identity, and it's a song that I wrote sort of from the point of view of feeling excluded. It's a song about sort of when you don't have a sort of a belief system or a sort of anything institutional that you can sort of join in and or belong to. That the way I dealt with that was to sort of, well, it was actually my first boyfriend who really helped me to sort of feel, I don't know, feel like I belonged. So this is a song I wrote for him, quite a long time ago now. The second song I'm going to play today is a brand new one, which I only finished writing this afternoon, but I thought I'd do the one that I know better first. So this is called Blind Belief. How can I follow a faith that tells me I need to be saved? Why would I watch the TV when I know it's got nothing to say? How can I tell you a story that I know is woven with lies? How can we trust in a system that we know is broken inside? So little left to believe in. Then I know I can turn to my blind belief in you, my blind belief in you. I don't need a miracle to show me what's wrong and what's right. All the proof I need burns bright in the light of your eyes. We don't need imagined designs, 'cause I know we won't lose our way. Why would I worship a stranger when I can just call out your name? Oh yeah, you're all I need to believe in. But I know I can turn to my blind belief in you, my blind belief in you, oh my blind belief in you, oh my blind belief in you. And I'll drop my heart into your hands. I'll put my faith in all your plans. I don't need to understand, but I know I can turn to my blind belief in you, my blind belief in you, oh my blind belief in you, oh my blind belief in you, oh yeah. Ooh,
Woo!
Thank you.
Great job, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I should just realize, speaking of invisible backroom creatives, I should say that song was co-written with Sophie, who runs the MA program. So we co-wrote that together quite a long time ago now. So thank you to Sophie, because we did a lot of writing together at that time. And I think with that song, we sort of set ourselves the challenge of writing a chorus with as few words as we possibly could, or something like that. And that's kind of that, together with wanting to sort of tell that story, was how that song came about. Great. Okay. First time I've played it in that tuning, by the way, just in case you didn't notice. So next we're going to go to Lauren, who is a first-year student with us and who had the pleasure of meeting just recently, actually, for the first time. How are you, Lauren?
I'm good. How are you?
I am very well, thank you. What are you going to play for us? Well, actually, first of all, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself? Just anything you want to say at all.
My name's Lauren. I am a singer-songwriter. I'm a first-year student at ICMP on the songwriting course. I write songs about my brain and humans in my life, basically. Yeah. Nice.
Just the humans? No animals?
Oh, my dog as well. Can't forget my dog.
And where are you from, Lauren? I don't want. Yeah. I think I can guess, but I don't want to.
I'm from Northern Ireland.
Okay, that would have been my guess.
There we go.
And what song are you going to play for us? First?
The first song I'm going to do is called Manual Instructions. So this song I wrote. It was actually the first song I wrote ICMP for Identity Brief, and this song is basically my kind of little look into what it's like to live with ADHD and just kind of live with a brain that doesn't agree with you half the time. So this song, hence the name Manual Instructions, is almost like my instruction book to somebody else in the how I work. So great title.
Thanks, Lauren. Over to you.
My brain is like putting a match into water. To some it don't make sense, but to me it does. See, my mind is a lake of unfinished days, in moments that I can't escape from, but the lake, it confides and holds me tighter than most. And my mind is an asylum of time, and I can't find the way out, the way out. And all my brain's permissions embodies conflictions, blinds my outlook for my future ambitions, perfect imperfections and private interruptions, leads the way to my manual instruction. Ba-ba-dum, ba-ba-dum. Ba-ba-dum, ba-ba-dum. I don't think before I speak. Days turn into weeks. I'm stuck in a motionless blur, and I can't speak. Oh, my downstairs brain can't find its way upstairs. Yeah, I'm dancing on the edge of loneliness. my mind is an asylum of time, and I can't find the way out, the way out. And all my brain's permissions embodies conflictions, blinds my outlook for my future ambitions, perfect imperfections and private interruptions, leads the way to my manual instruction. Ba-ba-dum, 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 ba-ba-dum. Wearing my heart on my sleeve doesn't work when it's stitched to the clouds in my mind. But she said, even if the stitch comes loose, my dear, I'll still sleep with the thread that it finds. And all my brain's permissions embodies conflictions, blinds my outlook for my future ambitions, perfect imperfection in private interruptions, leads the way to my manual instruction. Ba-ba-dum, 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 ba-ba-dum.
Yeah.
God. Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, lovely. That opening line was something like, my brain's like putting a match underwater. Yeah, that really got my attention. That's a great opening line. Did you say you wrote that fairly recently?
That was the first song I wrote for Come to ICMP, so September.
Great. And just, I mean, a question for everyone actually is how does having a brief to write a song, does it help you or not? And like, how does that work? I mean, anyone want to say anything about writing to briefs?
I think,
Bernard?
I think it creatively challenges you, and I think especially us postgraduate students who came to ICMP, we were told right on the first day, we were told that we are not here to learn anything. We are here to be creatively challenged. And I think it kind of like when you come to do a course like songwriting, it's like, when you're like, for example, okay, write a song about identity, it challenges to write about identity, about a subject that maybe you've never thought about. And I think that's the best part about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else want to come in on that?
Yeah, I think it just challenges you to think about songwriting in a different way. If you have to address, a completely new subject or a completely new method, it just broadens your horizons in terms of what you thought you could achieve. And obviously, if you want to go into writing for other people, it's a good thing to practice. Yeah.
Emily Burns, have you ever been sort of given briefs to write to a publisher or a label or manager or whatever?
Yeah, actually, it's not something that I've done much of, to be honest, but I remember this one particular session I had that was like, write a song about global warming, which was a really kind of difficult kind of concept. Where do you even start with that? But we ended up writing this song called Thin Ice, but kind of about, as if it was about a relationship, and like you are literally on thin ice and you're just like pushing me and pushing me and pushing me, and kind of the way we're treating the planet, I guess, is like we are just pushing it to its absolute limits and we are just on thin ice. And so yeah, I think it's sometimes really helpful to have somebody just hand you a concept and go, write about that. It's not something I've done too much of, but that was like super impressive, Lauren. I really, really enjoyed that song. It was beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Emily. Yeah, I think with briefs, it's kind of like, it's just helpful sometimes to have some limitations. Like, so basically you go from, I could write about anything in the world that's ever happened ever and that ever might happen, to like, oh, maybe I'll just pick that for today. So it's a bit like, you know, sometimes we can be overwhelmed by choice, right? Apparently that's why they don't put out too many different brands of cornflakes in the supermarket, because if there's too many, we don't buy any. So I don't know if that's true. Anyway, so let's move to you, Aisha. You're up next.
Cool. I totally get what you were just saying about the cornflakes thing. I feel like that about toothpaste every time I try and buy toothpaste.
Yeah.
Small
So it just sort of it helps. Some creativity often is helped by some limitations, I find. So anything you want to tell us about yourself, Aisha? Anything you want by way of introduction?
I always, whenever I introduce myself, I always think later, I forgot to say that. I am of mixed musical heritage. I come from a very musical family. My parents wrote musicals for the theatre. So it's always been in my life, and coming to ICMP was a chapter 3, I guess, like Aisha 3.0 version, like dedication to creativity for me. So being here is huge. Yeah, and I don't particularly have a genre that I write lots of different things, and I love collabing, so my door is always open. That's me, really.
Great.
Yeah, I think that's it.
It really pleases me when people still say, and I do this as well, but people still talk about being here at ICMP even when they're in their own bedroom, because it suggests to me that there is like still an embodied sense of the community and the sort of the relationship and the experience, which I think is really, really important. And I feel it too. Like I sort of feel like there is still a here that is ICMP, even though we're not in the building at the moment.
I definitely, like, I can see my phone buzzing with like my classmates like messaging me like, "Aisha, you're on screen, hi." There's definitely a community feel.
Yeah, I switched my phone off just before because I'm get too distracted. I think that's what happened with my AirPods. Anyway, so Aisha, what are you going to play for us?
Yeah, so this song, I wrote this after I'd finished my creative process essay a few weeks ago. As a respite from writing, I wrote, and this is what came out. And it's inspired by a film that I watched called The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. The song doesn't have a title at the moment because I don't know what to call it. I've been playing with like potato peelings. I'm not sure. So still trying to find the title. But yeah, this is kind of some of my more folky stuff. And it's still relatively new, so only a bunch of people have heard it.
Okay.
I think that's more or less it. So yeah, potato peelings is what I'm calling it, I think. Okay, there we go. Can you hear that okay? There is no silk, no champagne, no glitz or glamour means the same as a purple sprig of mountain heather pressed in folds of pages. The bard himself would write all England's roses in sonnets for you. All that grows here, it was taken. All no flour and no fat, but 6 starved mouths to feed my darling. The torches in the dark were meant to guide you home. Perhaps we'll never know. Oh, So run you quick, my daughters, the ships are rolling onward, escorting all the innocent sail safe to England. For here we are abandoned, my call into the darkness. But then I awaken and I am lost in gin, reciting words from Keats and Austen, and living for this child left in my care. The market town alive with faces, and letters come from far off places, but never anywhere to say my prayers. Oh, the doorways fill with lilacs as the seasons turn. Oh, 400,000 soldiers could not bring you home. They could not bring you home. There is no silk, no champagne, no glitz or glamour takes your place, my girl. There we go.
Yes.
Thank you, Aisha.
Gorgeous.
Thank you. Oh.
Yeah, I would. I think Potato Peelings is a cool title because it's A, unusual, and B, is alliterative, which is always good.
Oh yeah, there is that. Yeah, I'm really proud of this one actually. I really enjoyed writing it. It was a really fun thing to do, and it's quite sad. And I don't normally write sad songs, but something about it just sits nicely with me. So yeah, I'm happy.
Nice.
Can
Yeah,
I
really
ask
nice.
a question?
Go for it, Emily. Yeah.
Did you start like that? I just think that guitar part's so beautiful. Did you have that before, or did you kind of write that while?
No, it came. So the picking pattern, I had been playing with different sets of chords over about a year, and one day when I was finished with writing my essay and I was done, I didn't want to do it anymore. I sat in the dark and played it with a bunch of new chords. And then after that, you find one or two. I found one or two chords, and after that, I let the melody kind of direct where it was going, and so you ended up with that kind of variation. But yeah, so a bit of a mixture.
Sick. I love it. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. Cool.
Yeah, really beautiful. Great. Any other questions for Aisha before we move on? Okay. Right. Well, maybe we'll grill everyone a bit more on the next round. I'm just thinking of some juicy questions. Bernard, hello.
What is up? Hey everyone, so good to be here actually. Thank you so much ICMP for doing something like this, because I mean, we performers, we don't get a chance to really perform live, you know? So I just love, Jonathan, what you just did. Like, you just got yourself a beer, and that's what I invite everybody who's listening to us tonight. Do exactly the same. Just pour yourself a glass of wine or make yourself a cup of tea or a beer, and just like, let's all have fun. This is the place to celebrate the beauty of art. Exactly. Cheers. So what can I tell about myself is I'm Bernard Garvey on Instagram. That's a way to introduce, right? Like, because just in case if somebody wants to find me later. My journey with music has been quite an interesting one. I lived originally I'm from Lithuania, then I lived in Germany, then I moved to New York. I studied at Juilliard School vocals. I graduated, and then I was just one step away from getting a major record deal with Warner Music, and then I was just one step away, so close, and that was like my dream, and I just like wanted it so much, and and I got rejected in the end because I didn't have the numbers on social media, and that experience was like so traumatizing because in America the social media game is just like really crucial. It's not anywhere close like it is here in the UK. Like in the UK, it's not such a big deal. That's what I've learned so far. And that experience was so traumatizing. I was so angry at the whole world. I was like, I've been writing music since I was like 12. I've traveled all around the world to study music, to do this, and just like a silly thing like this. And I kind of like, I think I overburned and I overworked myself. And then I was like, I just don't want to do music at all. And I turned to fashion world actually and started working in fashion. And for 3 years, I was not doing music at all. Like I would write a song, but I would write a few songs, but I was not performing or doing anything seriously. And then I got myself a job in British Vogue, and I was working in digital marketing. And just actually last year, while working there, I got an offer from some producers who are doing Eurovision Song Contest, and I love Eurovision. I mean, that's like, who doesn't, right? We all do. And I was like, okay, let's just do Eurovision. And I was like, so I left my job, and I was like, okay, I want to do music full time, and then I got back to music. Because of Eurovision, and I was like, what could I write about? And this is a song that I'm about to perform tonight. I was like, I wanna bring something different to Eurovision. I wanna bring like a little bit of musical theater, because I studied classical singing and opera, and I was doing musical theater while living in New York. And I was like, I want to bring not like a pop song, even though I write a lot of pop music, but I just, like when you just want to be like a bit different, like let's just play the game in a different way. And so I wrote this song, which is inspired by the real story. It's called Dad, Don't Be Mad at Me. And I want to dedicate the song to every single guy who in somewhat way couldn't meet their dad's expectations. So if you're listening, the song's for you. Dad, don't be mad at me. Dad, why you don't want to talk? But my life has to move on. Don't close the door, please don't take my key. Are you really forcing me to leave? Dad, don't be mad at me, even though I'm not the boy you expected me to be. You should know that it's not easy to be me when school kids don't want to talk to me. I couldn't choose the color of my eyes, as I couldn't choose the father of my life. Sit down, please, let's have a talk, 'cause I'm your son that you should be proud of. Dad, don't be mad at me, even though I'm not the boy you expected me to be. You should know that it's not easy to be me when school kids don't want to talk to me. Dad, teach me about what is masculinity. Is it just shooting guns and driving cars, or living in the shell with having no light? Now I'm all grown up, thank you very much. Your life lessons made me very tough, but now I'm giving back my key. It's time for me to leave. But before I leave, let me tell you that I love you more. I love you much. That I still love you very much. So emotional.
I was going to say that. So emotional.
Next song is not gonna be anything like that, because sometimes I get so annoyed with myself with all these sad lyrical pop songs. I'm like, I want to write something upbeat and like happy, you know. But this one, I just had to pour my heart out to you guys.
You should beat yourself up about that. It was lovely.
Yeah.
Draw on your strengths, right?
Thanks. Really
So,
appreciate it.
I don't know about anyone else, but I've got quite a few questions for Bernard that I sort of wanted to ask beforehand, but you were so, I didn't want to interrupt your flow, basically. You know, it was a really...
Yeah, I talk so much sometimes. It's annoying.
No, it's fine. It's wonderful. It was great to hear. Thank you for sharing so much of your musical journey so far and your career story and everything so far. So I just wanted to ask, if it's not too personal a question, is whether that experience you had of kind of essentially being sort of rejected on such a sort of arbitrary basis, like clearly nothing to do with talent or ability or whatever, but whether that moment in your career has influenced your songwriting in any way.
Yeah, I think definitely. You talk about the rejection from the music industry that I was talking about, right?
Yeah.
Definitely, because I think I had such a long break for 3 years, as I said, and I think having that break and living that office life and thinking that, okay, I definitely can do something and like F music, you know. By the way, can we swear in this? I don't know, because I really love the F word, and I just really have to think about myself, like just not to say it, but sorry.
Lasse, can we swear in this? Lasse's the boss. He's...
No, don't worry. I won't do it.
I think it's fine. I don't know what will happen if
but
you...
my point is that it made me realize how much I cannot live without music. That's that, like, having a break for 3 years made me just realize, like, no, like I can do digital marketing, and I don't want to work in fashion. I want to do music full time. That's what I've always studied, you know, and just want that little rejection. And it taught me how now when I think about it, like it was kind of like a waste of time. And it was a great lesson how I shouldn't give up at all at any point in my life in the future. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone else want to say anything about this? I mean, basically on the topic of how your relationship to your own creativity and your own songwriting might have changed as you've, you know, had various experiences.
I think it definitely changed my songwriting. I think now, because like I mean I do get in the mood when I write whatever I want to write, like a song like this, when it's just purely experience, it's inspired by my experience, or you know, the struggles, or you name it.
Yeah.
But I think it made me a bit more commercial. Like it made me think like, okay, if I only just do this, I'll never, because you know, you still want to make money if you want to make music full time.
Yeah.
And it definitely it gave me that kind of like, I didn't lose myself at all, because I think, you know, it's very important not to copy anyone or try to be someone else that you're not, but it definitely gave me that commercial mindset.
Mm-hmm. Emily, is there anything that you can share on this at this stage in your career?
Yeah.
I would say it's interesting. Like when I first started writing music, I definitely I was 100% trying to be other artists. Like I was listening to Ed Sheeran, and I'd be like, oh, I love how he phrases that, and like I would try and put that into my writing. Or I'd like listen to Kate Nash and Lily Allen and be like, oh, I really love what they do. And and even down to like things I was wearing and like the way I wanted to be seen, I was like trying to be just this amalgamation of all these other artists. And then I started working with a producer that just said to me one day, just like, you're the only person that can be you, and the thing that's going to be most unique about you and your career is that no one else like is you. And I know it sounds like such an obvious thing to say, but it made me completely change my way of writing and just thinking, and I just started telling my own true stories about like what's happening to me, because that will never happen to anybody else, sort of thing. So I think I really rate Bernard, like the honesty in that really touched me, and I think it's an amazing thing to be able to just like open up your diary to the world and be like, this is my life. Like that really is amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. I can also relate to what you just said regarding the producer, because big shout out to another producer who opened me up. There's something about producers actually, and us vocalists or singer-songwriters, I think that they really open us up, don't they? Like a big shout out to my producer Maurice, who might be watching this tonight. So we formed a duo, Saint Monard, and we're releasing a new single on 26th of February. But he really opened me up, and he was like, be yourself, Bernard. And like, I can totally relate to what you just said, Emily. Like, I totally agree with you. But like, it's sometimes just one person who can like direct you, right? It's so interesting.
Absolutely, yeah. Aisha, did you want to come in on that?
Yeah, I was just going to say that I think we overlook the we often look at songwriting as being an output. We don't often look at it as being an input, and to use the technical term. But for me, the big thing that I learned, especially doing my last module, was actually less about what I can produce and more about the effect that regular songwriting has on things like my mental health. And one of the big things that brought me to ICMP was a prolonged period of bad mental health, and coming back to my creativity just completely changed everything for me. And I think that it's something we can all really relate to, and we often forget when we're writing or being creative that it's not just about, a lot of the time it's about what you're producing, but it's not always about that. A lot of the time you're getting benefits that you're not necessarily thinking about. And and I think creativity is just intrinsic to human happiness, whatever form that comes in, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as you can see over my shoulder, I mean, I'm really into sewing. I do lots of sewing. That was actually my great grandmother's, and I've never done any sewing, but I just like to pretend that I do. Thank you, Aisha. So we're on to. So thank you, Aisha. Thank you, Bernard. Beautiful song. And I'm just so impressed the way you sort of just casually like, oh yeah, I wrote this for Eurovision. Love Eurovision, by the way. I mean, Sophie also loves Eurovision, so make sure you speak to her about it. We're going to move now to Emily Harbord, second year songwriting student with us. Hello, Emily.
Hello.
Hey. Thank you for. I think in some way I said it's worse to go first, but actually I think it's perhaps difficult to wait. Like you hear everyone else play.
I kind of like hearing everyone else play, and also because I hate introducing myself because I never know what to say. So like hearing everyone, I'm like, okay, I can like plan something out.
Okay. Yeah. So what would you like us to know about you?
Yeah, basically I write sad, chill pop. That's the kind of thing. I do a lot of like. I produce sort of my own stuff, and they're quite heavily produced, but my acoustic stuff is quite different, which I kind of like, which I like that kind of mix of things. That's the kind of stuff I do.
And what song are you going to play for us?
So I wrote this song, I think in the summer last year. It was called Be There, and I produced it, and I never wrote like verses for it, and then I ended up showing it. I think you might know him, Jonathan, but David Boyden.
Yes, I do know him.
Yes, we did a songwriting session a few weeks ago,
and I sent him this song, and we kind of basically just rewrote it. We turned the chorus melody into like the verses, and then rewrote a completely new chorus, and then kind of we knew what we wanted to talk about, and it's about like I had a very close friend, and we kind of drifted apart, but it's sort of wanting to still be there for them, even though you're not that close, and that they go through stuff, and you want to help, so you want to kind of just like, I in the chorus I talk about just wanting to drive around and kind of just putting our problems in the back seat and kind of just ignoring it, that kind of thing, even if it's just like a temporary fix. I love that kind of idea, and then we ended up calling it Taxi. So yeah.
Great.
Song.
Great. Well, yeah, lovely to well, looking forward to hearing it. Over to you.
We never used to close all our doors. We could walk right in. But lately you've been locked within your walls. I feel you caving in. And you keep to yourself, and I don't know how to help. And I want you to know that you're not alone. But if you let me in, you don't have to tell me how you're feeling. We could drive around town at 3 in the morning. I'll pick you up now, and we could just talk shit. Our problems in the backseat. We'll be the taxi for now. We never had to fill in the space. It was made by us. But now its beauty's been replaced. It eats us up. And you keep to yourself, and I don't know how to help it. I want you to know that you're not alone. But if you let me in, you don't have to tell me how you're feeling. We could drive around town at 3 in the morning. I'll pick you up now, and we could just talk shit. Our problems in the backseat. We'll be the taxi for now. Just say the word and we'll drive around town. We know where to get to. Our playlist up loud with the world in our review. Our problems in the backseat. We'll be the taxi for now. Cause you're always on my mind. You may not want it, but you'll be there even after all this time. I hope you know that you're always on my mind. Cause all I wanna do is be there even after all this time. I hope you know that. We could drive around town at 3 in the morning. I'll pick you up now, and we could just talk shit. Our problems in the backseat. We'll be the taxi for now.
Yeah.
So good.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Love that.
Thank you.
Emily, do you want to ask Emily something?
Did I look like I did? Was I
Yeah,
like...
you did. You were sort of leaning forward, unmuted.
No,
So-
I was just gonna say that like I really admire when someone when someone like tells me to rewrite a song, it really stresses me out, and I sometimes just end up imagining the
Don't
whole.
come to ICMP then.
But, like, do you know what I mean? When I'm like, that's the chorus, and someone's like, no, that's the verse, and you should write a new chorus.
You get like emotionally attached to it, because I remember going into the session being like, this is so weird. It feels, because I wrote it a while back, so I got so used to it, and then completely rewriting it. It was fun, but it was like a weird kind of thing because you're so attached to that song when you first write it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I get that.
It's a massive challenge, and I think you smashed it. Like, that chorus that is the chorus now is definitely the chorus, and it works so well. I really liked it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful song, and I have to say that so David is a really smart guy, a really great writer, and what's happening at the moment with David is that I keep hearing about him like from different people. So he's really busy and doing lots of writing, and that's really great to see, because it's sort of that's kind of how it works, really, isn't it? But I think as well,
though, yeah, incredible songwriter.
Yeah, can you? I mean, if you don't mind me asking, like, can you say a bit about why you felt that? What was it about your experience of writing with him that sort of worked for you? Because I'm kind of interested in this.
I think I think before this year, I never really co-wrote a lot. I was always very working by myself in my room, that kind of thing. And I kind of made it a thing to co-write more with people this year. And I just learned so much from how people's brains works. And now I just love it, just because like the one thing I kind of prefer melodies more than lyrics. So learning new stuff from, someone like David, who's, his brain is incredible. And the fact, I think, is when you find that kind of, sometimes co-writes don't really work out and you can kind of feel it, but when you find that person who kind of gets you, and then he'd get me, and we'd kind of bounce back and forth with ideas, I love it. And then that's how we kind of came up with the sort of concept and everything. I just love hearing like how people's brains work. I don't know why, it's just so interesting to me, and you learn so much as well.
It is. I mean, and this is why I love co-writing so much, and why I'm such a huge kind of advocate of it. I mean, it's partly it's sort of I mean, basically in Nashville everyone co-writes, so I guess it was first, I mean, I think really Sophie was one who introduced me to the sort of culture in Nashville and took me out there and everything, so I think that's a big part of it. But it's just an amazing way to to learn about songwriting, to learn about yourself, to come up with work that by definition you couldn't have come up with by yourself. That not because you're not good enough, but just because two brains together or three brains together just creates a different result. And I think one of the sort of really the key skills of any songwriter, like if you're working with an artist like you, where you're quite rightly, you feel very emotionally attached to your songs. And I think, given what Aisha was saying about, well, songs are often about input rather than just output, and you by definition you kind of need to invest quite heavily in them, right, in order for them to matter. So they belong to you. So then to do, it is stressful, Emily, like to sort of then start moving it around and stuff. It's kind of feels invasive. So if there's a writer who can do that with you and do it in a way that feels kind of safe and explorative and all about possibility rather than about correction, I think that's really, really amazing. So yeah, I'm a big fan of co-writing, definitely. Anyone want to ask Emily anything else?
I just wanted to say that I really love the name Taxi. Like, it's so genius, so simple, but it's so powerful. Yeah. Like everyone has an association with the word taxi itself, so I think it's just so cool.
Thank you.
And beautiful performance and delivery, obviously, as well.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Emily. So we will move on now to the other Emily, our special guest, Emily Burns. Hello.
Hello.
Hey. Emily, is there anything you would like to tell us about you, your background, your music, your songs, anything at all?
I'd say just kind of what I was talking about before. It was a few years ago. I just had this moment of realization of just I just want to write songs that are completely about my life, and that's can sometimes be like really scary, because it's just basically telling everyone all about your personal life, and what's going on in it, and the people that are in it and stuff. But like, which is maybe harder for them than it is for me, to be honest. But yeah, that's kind of the way I write. I take from my own personal experiences and relationships and friendships, and sometimes it comes out happy and sometimes it comes out sad. But
Yep.
the first song I'm gonna do, I wrote it like what you were saying, Emily, about finding someone that you really just like connect with and write really well with is so important. And I found this guy who's like one of my best friends. He's called Jacob Atwell, and we just like 50% of the songs I've released that I've written with him, we've just have this like really, really good relationship. And we kind of rented an Airbnb and went and did this like week together where we just drank loads of wine and wrote songs by a fish pond. And it was really, really fun. And at that time I had just like signed my record deal, and I was like terrified about, I was never like, the feeling I had, I was so elated that I just didn't think I could ever maintain that happiness, if that makes any sense. And I was like so anxious about not being able to be that happy for that long, which is kind of stupid. But I wrote a song about it called Terrified, and I swear a lot in it. That is okay, right? We said that's okay, because I'll probably have to lose half the words.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thanks.
We don't stand on ceremony at ICMP. We're pretty casual about it. So.
Perfect. Every day I wake up and see somewhere in the middle between, screaming out in ecstasy and breaking down in misery. And even though I'm trying my best, I'm a little out of my depth, freak out at the smallest things, scared of fucking everything. And they say that I should enjoy the ride, but I'm terrified. Well, I gotta be honest, I'm terrified. Don't know if I've never been up this high. And I'm trying, but I'm lying when I say I'm fine. I'm putting my hands up like, oh fuck, I'm terrified. Terrified. Now I'm even scared of my bed. Don't wanna be alone with my head dreaming up a tragedy. Solo time is bad for me, so I end up getting all drunk till I don't even know what I've done. Pour me up another, please. Poison my anxiety. And they say that I should enjoy the ride. I'm terrified. Well, I gotta be honest, I'm terrified. Don't know if I've never been up this high. And I'm trying, but I'm lying when I say I'm fine. I'm putting my hands up like, oh fuck, I'm terrified. I'm putting my hands up like, oh fuck, I'm terrified. They say that I should enjoy the ride. Losing my mind, and I don't know why. But I gotta be honest, terrified. Don't know if I've never been on this high. And I'm trying, but I'm lying when I say I'm fine. I'm putting my hands up like, oh fuck, I'm terrified.
Yeah. That was
Beautiful.
so good.
Thanks, guys.
That's great. So you wrote that with Jacob Atwell?
Yeah, do you know him?
I don't know him. No, I was just going to ask if it's someone that did you know him first as a writer or as a friend?
No, good question. But I actually met him through a session.
Yeah.
We just kind of got put together, and the first song we ever wrote together was this song called Girlfriend at the time that was like my second single I ever released.
Yeah.
And oh, that's nice that you're nodding, because that I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, we just had a really great connection. I was like, wow, like I just came with an idea and he kind of brought it to life with me, which is just nice when you find people that can do that. So
Yeah,
he's really good.
I think the reason I asked the question is because I think it's sometimes the most amazing friendships can come out of when you have a creative connection with someone. Like it's just so compelling, and so that you sort of just like, it's almost like there's sort of like a creative, you develop almost like a creative infatuation with one another, where you just want to write more and more and more, and it's just very compelling. You know, it's really exciting when that happens.
Yeah, and I think also because you have to be so honest with that person. Like from day one, I walked into the room and I was like, this is what's happening. This person's doing this. This is what, like, I'm in love with so and so, and like you just have to be so open with the person that you're writing with, that you're kind of forced into this friendship as well, which is sometimes amazing, sometimes tragic.
It's very intimate, isn't it? Songwriting in general. It's like, you know, sharing your story, and usually a very personal one. It can be like feeling wise. I think it can sometimes feel the same as like getting naked in front of, because I mean it's it's so personal.
So vulnerable, isn't it? It's a vulnerable place to be. But like there's so much power in that as well. I love it.
Yeah. It's very I mean I love it because it's sort of basically being a songwriter, if you're co-writing with artists, you need to be so curious and like ask them loads of stuff and basically be super nosy and just find out all the goss, which is always fun. But yeah, it does require the artist to be, you know, quite open and willing to do that, because it's quite difficult to do otherwise. So, you know, it's definitely a two-way thing. Does anyone want to ask Emily anything else about the song or her writing at this stage?
I would have the same question like Jonathan had for me. When you got signed, did your writing change? Like, what about that experience, you know?
It's a good question as well, but I think I was quite fortunate that I signed to an independent label first. So when I started releasing my music, I was like, I got the ball rolling a bit before I went to a major label, if that makes sense. So by the time I signed to a major label, they kind of trusted me, and they were like, well, this is working, so let's not try and change your writing or change you too much, which I was very lucky with. But yeah, there's definitely more pressure, I would say. There's like when it's suddenly like your job and your full-time job, it's like, okay, shit, I need to get good at this. But no, I wouldn't say my actual writing has changed, just maybe my mindset of like, okay, I now have to do this. Yeah. Thank you for the question though.
Yeah, well, I mean, presumably you wouldn't have written Terrified if you hadn't been put under all that pressure.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's kind
exactly,
of inspired you.
And that was what, I came away from that week and I was like just so buzzing to have written that song. So I'm glad that I felt that anxiety and pressure and horrible crushing pain.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what I feel right now about the fact that I'm about to play a brand new song that I've never played before. So I'm not quite sure how this is going to go. But I thought, in the spirit of this, which, as I said, like, is not, even though everyone's given these lovely, wonderful performances, it's not actually about performance necessarily this kind of evening. It's about song sharing. And so the idea, is it's kind of warts and all. So I thought I'd share something new. So I did this thing, I don't know, last month was it last month? Yeah, I think last month, where I wrote 7 songs in 7 days just to sort of see what that did, because there's something about, like you were saying, Emily, about just having to do it. If you make that commitment and just see what comes up, it just kind of takes the I think you just have to work more quickly, basically, and just get out of your own way more. I thought it was really good. I actually found it really interesting in mental health terms as well, because it was like I noticed that I couldn't actually write if I had anything going on. I just kind of had to. It was kind of like mindfulness, but in a way that I could actually get behind, because I'm not very good at meditating, basically. So it was like, okay, I need to park whatever's going on or notice it and set it to one side so that I can actually write these songs. So the other reason I'm playing this one is because this is a song I wrote. It's basically for someone I know. So it's quite rare that I would write in the sort of the third person. So it's about someone that I know who has just really been struggling with identity. Well, I mean, I think she's very clear about her identity, but she doesn't feel supported or noticed or heard or whatever. And actually, this was based on a conversation that she had with her mother, who just sort of said, "Oh, just said you're nobody's daughter," which is I just thought was so sad. Anyway, that is what the song is called. So I'm gonna have to I have to look at lyrics and everything. So let's see how this goes. Right. Okay, yeah, so this is called Nobody's Daughter. She makes no sound, a bird on the ground. Silence speaks out around her. She looks to the sky, waiting all this time for searchlights to shine and find her, but they won't show, for nobody's daughter, nobody's daughter. She's been here before, broken, bruised, and cracked on the floor. She needs more. No one hears her call, and they won't show, someone shows for nobody's daughter. Nobody's daughter. Hang on. I just needed to scroll the lyrics. Hang on. There comes a point where everyone starts growing up. Let go of the past when you feel strong enough. Time to start destroying and start fixing stuff. Only you can fix your love. Only you can fix your love. Only you can fix your love. Oh, no. Ooh. She looks to the sky, waited all this time. Love's light will shine and find her. Now there's hope. Someone shows for nobody's daughter. Nobody's daughter.
Yeah.
Rough and ready.
Definitely the end this time.
Yes, definitely the end. Yeah. I mean, God, it would be absolutely sacrilegious to like end a song at that point. I just needed to scroll down to see the bridge, basically. Yeah. Yeah. So, anyone want to ask anything about that?
I've
Has
got a
it-
question.
Oh yeah, no, sure. Emily, go ahead.
Okay. I was just wondering, like, it's kind of maybe a broad question for everyone, but like, I mean, I write mostly about myself and my experiences and stuff, but do you prefer sort of writing songs about other people, or if you find it easier, if you love kind of putting yourself in their shoes, or is it kind of something that you want to, it's like a challenge for you in a way, if that makes sense?
Well, I mean, if I just dive in and answer that in relation to that song, is that, yeah, I typically always, either for myself, back when I was doing the artist thing, or, in well, let me answer that differently. As for my artist stuff, when I was, actively writing for my artist project, I would nearly always be writing just from my own experience, basically. It was interesting writing the 7 songs in 7 days because it was the first time in years, literally, that I'd written for myself, not for an artist project. I wasn't in the room with anyone. I just set myself that challenge. And, it was lockdown. And in fact, I was self-isolating because I had COVID. And so I was just like, I sort of needed to like broaden the spectrum, really. I wasn't having any particularly interesting experiences, nor had I had many. So I wrote about the pandemic. I wrote about what else I wrote? I wrote about society. I wrote about like all sorts of things that actually I wouldn't normally write about because I needed to come up with something for that day. I don't know if anyone else wants to jump in at that point.
I was just gonna ask if your friend person that this was inspired by has heard it. Did you say that already and I missed it? Or
No, she hasn't heard it. No. Yeah, I sort of think. Yeah, I mean, I sort of. No, I haven't. That's the first time anyone's heard any of those songs, actually. So yeah, it's just I'm still kind of basically I was redrafting it today, so it's still not quite finished, but it's not far off. But I will share it with her at some point, definitely.
So that's like like an absolute premiere of the song, right? Like that's the very first time it's ever played.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
We are the lucky ones.
Yeah, you and Lasse, how many people actually are watching? A few thousand? What is it? Last time I checked, it was about 50. Yeah, about 50. So yeah, this group. Right, let's move on. So what was the order again? We went next to, let's go back to Lauren.
Hi.
Hi. I'm not gonna encourage so much chatting on this round. So you just want to say whatever you like, and then we'll hear the song.
Yep. This next song was originally written on piano, and then I decided like 2 days ago, screw it, I'm gonna try it on guitar. So this could be rough, but the song is called either question mark or questions, but like a legit question mark, like not the word question mark, just to confuse people if I ever release it and their phone just comes up with a question mark. But the song is it's kind of about like all the questions that, like, if the world was like this or if this was this, you know, like kind of like your existential questions. And as crappy as the world is right now and everything going on in it, like there's still some stability to be found somewhere. So I wrote this song kind of for myself when I was like needing that stability. And this song was written 2 weeks ago, so it's very new.
Great.
What would the world be like if there was no pain or strife? Would we then come to life? What if I told you now what I really thought? Could you find my blind spot? Just like the stars tell time, would you remember mine? Can't live a normal life with the universe behind my eyes. But I've got so many questions and nobody's answering, and I'll take every suggestion this ever made sense to me. Yeah, you're the only thing I need.
Yeah, lovely. Beautiful. And thank you for sharing something that's so freshly written as well.
Yeah, amazing.
Was that in response to a brief, or was that just, something you just
Yeah,
came out?
so it was in response to a brief which I just had to scratch my head at and be like, what? We had to write for philosophy, and I was like, I don't know anything about philosophy. And I was like, I've got a lot of questions, so let's just start asking questions, because isn't that what philosophy is about? So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, indeed, great response to that brief. Okay, so thank you very much, Lauren. Really beautiful. Let's move to you, Aisha. Move back to you.
Hello.
Hello.
Cool.
Have you been drinking heavily off camera?
What? Why?
No, I'm joking.
As in, I'm so confused.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, yes, I have, but it is tea. Like.
Okay, that's fine.
No, I have not. Yeah. So, song number 2. This is all my screen's frozen. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah.
Great. Okay, cool. This is. I kind of wished that I had something on theme for today, but I don't, because I think it is something important to talk about. In terms of like LGBT History Month stuff. So I wish I had a song something around those themes, but I don't. So I'm playing this instead. And I think that's partly because I find it so hard, in response to the question earlier, to write about myself. And I find it a lot easier to look outwards to other people. So this is a song I wrote about a friend. And I think it's pretty relatable about the way that we are conditioned, and certainly certain people are conditioned to believe that the only way to get through things is to be on the offensive all the time, and that actually you can kind of chill your beans a bit and be kinder to yourself, I think, is maybe the message of this song. But yeah, so this is it's called Blue Sky Boy, and it was in response to the storytelling brief in the creative process module. Yeah, so I think that's all I need to say.
Thanks, Aisha.
This one's considerably louder than the last one, so lastly, I'm looking to you to control the volume here. You've been running with the wolves, prey cloaked in predator skin. Bones of your trials, they litter the road. Fights you never wanted to win. Gotta get yourself established. Keep them distant, snapping at their heels. Your heart is for the taking, son, so conceal. You've been howling at the moon, calling out into the dark. In smoky saloons, you learn to assume you were worth some of your art. And every night the vultures call in, bewitched by your blue sky smile. Defenses that you spent those years building, were they worth the while? Blue sky boy, oh, don't you let the rain clouds settle in. Came to find a bright new world. Won't you let it hear you sing? So string up your story on that old steel string guitar. Go easy on yourself, baby, you'll go far. Country boy moves to the city, loses himself in the big smoke. wander the streets looking for your pack so you can step out of the cold. And you're saying you see here within me something you're fighting to become, the darkness of that inner journey, something you're still running from. But when the night goes in, my boy, will you still be searching for someone? Blue sky boy, baby, don't you let the rain clouds settle in. You came to find a bright new world, won't you let it hear you sing? So string up your story on that old steel string guitar. Go easy on yourself, and baby, you'll go far. Blue sky boy, oh, don't you let the rain clouds settle in. Oh, no, no, you came to find a bright new world, won't you let it hear you sing, yeah. So string up your stories on that old steel string guitar. Go easy on yourself, and baby, you'll go far.
Great, thank you. I'm glad I managed. I sort of sent a message to Lasse during that, and then I could not get back to the call. So I'm glad I made it in time. Thank you, Aisha. Anyone want to ask Aisha anything about that?
Just like sick delivery, like you just seemed so passionate in that one. So it like
one of those songs you can like get lost in, and you don't have to worry about people watching.
yeah. I love that. Like it was like you just were there by yourself. But I mean that in the kindest way. Like I really, really respect that. It was sick.
Yeah. I'm also particularly impressed that you managed to get through the whole of Sophie's creative process module without writing a song about yourself.
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
But I
was gonna say.
I struggled, and now that I finished the module, I look back on those ones like, oh no, they need a rewrite.
Okay. Yeah.
So they happened. Don't worry.
Great. Thank you, Aisha. Right, let's move to you, Bernard.
Okay, go. Let's do it. Me again. Okay, so next song is actually called Love Feels Wrong, and the story how I was inspired to write it. Actually, okay, I'm obsessed with The Crown, the Netflix show. Okay, I don't know if some of you, like, I'm upset. Like, it's the best history lessons. I learned so much history just watching that, you know? And the story that is really interesting to me was Prince Charles, Camilla, and Diana. So, like, Prince Charles always loved Camilla, but they never were allowed to kind of love each other because of the traditions. And, you know, Camilla was married, and basically they were just like the traditions, the values, the public opinion didn't allow them to be together. And that then he was forced to find another lady who was Diana. So I was like, I want to write about discreet love. I mean, especially when we're celebrating LGBTQ month, it's just like worth mentioning that some people can be killed or go to jail for loving who they love. And it's just like crazy when you think about it, that such a beautiful thing like love can feel wrong. And so this song is a bit more upbeat because I love good pop music and I love powerful choruses, and the subject is kind of sad, but I was like, I like the idea of cry dancing, you know, like sad lyrics, but upbeat song. And just like, yeah, so basically the chorus is like, the the taste of your lips, I cannot resist. Me being with you involves way too much risk, and it's all about that. So love feels wrong.
Did you say cry dancing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of that in lockdown, actually. That's
Yeah,
all we can do.
exactly. I'm like tired of all this like writing the sad music. Actually, I want to drop this head, but like it's just like it's annoying. Like, you know, like just the world is miserable enough. Like, can we? I just wanted to write something upbeat, and I was like, yeah, let's just do it.
Let's do it. Yeah, we'll groove with you.
Okay, do you still have your beard, Jonathan?
Yes, I'm on to the next one now.
I knew it. All right. The taste of your lips, I cannot resist. Me being with you involves way too much risk. Oh, I'm losing control. I can't decide what I want. Don't push me too hard. I'm in this cage on my own. I can't love who I want, makes no sense. I know they watch me from the back like a TV show. Left or right I go, I get emotional but cannot get involved with the one I want. Flashes all night long, they won't leave me alone. They make love feel so wrong, but the taste of your lips, I cannot resist. Me being with you involves way too much risk. Oh, I'm losing control. I can't decide what I want. Don't push me too hard. I'm in this cage on my own, 'cause I've been fighting too long. Can't make decisions on my own. They make the right seem wrong. Now I have got no choice. I must be moving on. Leave me alone, I say, but I am chained. Can't run away, 'cause the taste of your lips, I cannot resist. Me being with you involves way too much risk. Oh, I'm losing control. I can't decide what I want. Don't push me too hard. I'm in this cage on my own. Oh, flashes all night long. They won't leave me alone. They make love feel so wrong. But my feelings are so strong. But loving you feels wrong. I don't want the world to know that the taste of your lips, I cannot resist. Me being with you in the most way too much risk. Oh, I'm losing control. I can't decide what I want. And loving you just feels so wrong. Oh, 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 oh. I'm fighting too long. Oh, I've been fighting too long. Fighting too long. Oh, I've been fighting too long. I've been fighting too long. Well, I've been fighting too long. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it sounded right though, like through the, you know, the YouTube live thing.
Sounded
Because
great.
I'm basically shouting here.
No, it sounded great. We really appreciated your passionate delivery. Like, you know, that was great.
Thank you so much.
Yes, serious.
So when did you write that? Remind me. Did you say? I can't remember.
After the season 4 of The Crown premiere on Netflix,
Yeah.
so I don't know when was that, but like quite recently.
Yeah, I think that's the first time I've ever heard someone say they wrote a song inspired by Charles and Diana. But you know, that's great.
I mean, maybe know their story, but it was like the Netflix show that really, and the delivery of the show that, you know, then the story, I was like, okay, I want to write about that.
Well, we heard today that Meghan Markle is pregnant with her second baby, so maybe you can write a song about that.
Yeah, I feel actually, yeah, I love Meghan. I mean, I love them, everyone.
Okay. Well, let's not go to royal family right now because we could hours. Thank you, Bernard. Let's instead go to Emily. Emily Harwood. Hello.
Hello. So my song is like the complete opposite vibe. We're gonna take it down a notch. But no, yeah. It's kind of, I wrote this song again. I think Jonathan, you know him. It's with Sven Ross.
I do, yeah.
Yeah,
In fact, I was.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, great.
I think you did a songwriting session with. I saw on.
I did, yeah. I wrote with David and Sven last week.
Yeah, so Sven's a really good friend of mine, and I think this was the first song we actually wrote together. And it's actually one of the most sort of personal songs I think I've written, especially with someone. It was like a therapy session. He was asking me all these questions, and it was the first time I'd kind of gotten into co-writing, and I learned a lot from him in general. But yeah, it's kind of about sort of comparing yourself to other people and that kind of thing, and being stuck in your room and having those kind of like thoughts and stuff like that. So yeah, it is called Engraved.
Lovely.
Wake up, it's reality of life. Dreams over, back to where I hide. Can't look away from insecurities engraved on my bedroom wall. A messy pile of all the magazines I've read, ripped out posters, oh I wish I was them. I can't help, it's a habit that I can't seem to break, and I just care way too much about what other people think, and I can't stop my inner fight, 'cause I've been counting all my life. I know this room is not the place I should reside. I try to leave, but I've built these walls too high. I can't help, it's a habit that I can't seem to break, and I just care way too much about what other people think, and I can't stop my inner fight, 'cause I've been counting all my life. And I know you worry about me here. Will I find a way out? And I'm still worried I'll disappear. Is there a way out? 'Cause it's engraved. It's engraved. It's engraved. It's engraved.
Aww.
Beautiful.
I love your voice so much.
Thank you.
Just listen to it and fall asleep. It's just beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful concept as well, that song. The whole engraved thing is lovely. Great, thank you. Anyone want to ask Emily anything about that?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, did you like go into that session with the title, like with Engraved already in your mind, or did that kind of come out when you guys started talking about your feelings?
It came out when we started talking sort of about it. I think it was the first time I'd kind of had that kind of songwriting session where it generally did feel like a therapy session in the best way possible. And one, made us closer, and two, because we were really good friends before, it was almost so easy to kind of bounce back and forth with that kind of idea and having that imagery of that sort of my problems and whatever sort of engraved into something, which I really loved when we sort of
came up with that concept, it was like, yes, this makes sense. This is kind of what I feel sometimes. So yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's interesting how that can happen. I mean, sometimes you have the title and you have the whole concept and everything up front, but then sometimes you just need to talk about whatever it is you're writing about, and it emerges in the conversation, right?
It's that talking for like an hour before you actually do anything. I love that. You grab a coffee or you do that. It's that kind of, and that's when you accidentally, in the most perfect way, come up with an idea. And I think I love that about songwriting sessions, especially if you get on with the person.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I think I always found that the coffee or the beer or wine or whatever you have before you start is actually so productive, and that's where a lot of the work can sort of invisibly happen. And you just need to be like paying attention, obviously, because usually someone will say something and that's kind of, you got the song sorted. Great, thank you, Emily. Beautiful. So we're gonna go now to our special guest, Emily. And we've got basically a mini gig from you now, so we're going to hear 3 songs from you, I believe.
Yes.
Which is fantastic. And I'm going to basically, we're going to sit back and enjoy it, basically. So, if you just obviously feel free to introduce each song, but we'll probably leave our questions or whatever for the end of the mini set, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Okay. I'll hand over to you.
Thanks. It's hard, tough acts to follow, everyone. Like, that was honestly such a beautiful experience to hear everyone talking about the reason that you wrote all those songs and what they mean to you, and like, it's definitely inspired me and made me want to go away and write more, which is a lovely thing. So I've actually really struggled over lockdown, being honest, to like write much at all. So this has been really helpful for me to like want to go away and do more of that. So thank you for that. The first song I'm going to do, well, I guess it's my second, but I'll say first because it's called Hello, and I always like to start any gig I play with this song just because it feels very apt. How many lies I've had to tell my friends, how many nights I've seen out till the end, lost count of the times I've rewritten messages I never sent. If you knew all the ways I tried to forget, all the days that I've wasted lying in my bed, if you knew that it breaks every little piece of me time you leave, then maybe you wouldn't call. Maybe then you just leave me alone, 'cause I can't help but fall apart. Got me right back at the start. Funny how you always know when I'm about to let you go. You show up and say hello, and I wish that I could block you out, but damn, you got your timing down. Funny how you always know when I'm about to let you go. You show up and say hello. You know how many days I've dragged myself to dulling the ache with somebody new, but then all that it takes is just a little word from you. If only you knew, maybe you wouldn't call. Maybe then you should leave me alone, 'cause I can't help but fall apart. Got me right back at the start. Funny how you always know when I'm about to let you go. You show up and say hello, and I wish that I to let you go. It's delayed, drunken text, you'll be fine. I'm a mess, cause it's not fitting. You got nothing to lose, and I'll never say no, cause I'm stuck in a hope you'll stay. Cause I can't help but fall apart, right back at the fucking start. Funny how you always know when I'm about to let you go. You show up and say hello. Ooh, ooh, ooh. But I guess I kinda missed you, so I don't mind one more hello. Thanks, guys.
Oh my God, that's so cute. Love that.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much.
It's lovely.
The next song I'm gonna play is actually like, I fell in love last year, and it doesn't really happen to me very often. Thank you, thanks everyone. And I wrote this song because this is so cheesy, and if she ever heard me saying this, she'd be like, Emily, get a fucking grip, come on. But I kind of was just feeling this thing of like, I don't want to ever sleep, because it feels like just the most wasted time. Like, so cringe, and I feel so disgusted in myself when I say it out loud, but it's just a beautiful feeling that I've never actually had before, of just, I don't ever want to close my eyes, because it just feels like a missed opportunity to spend time with her. So this song's called Body Clock, and I'm not sure if I should even play this because I've never played it. The only people that have heard it are like my management. We've decided it might be a single, but we don't know yet, so you might be the only people that ever hear it, to be honest, but here we go.
Oh, well, we're really honoured. That's amazing. Thank you.
No, thanks for being my audience for it. So let's buy those blackout blinds so that it's always night, and we can just forget about the world outside. I'm throwing out my phone, no, I don't wanna know. Take everything I have, no, I don't need no clothes. Cause here at number 26, I think I could while my life away, and really I don't wanna miss a thing. I know we gotta go to sleep, but we don't stop. Could you be my new body clock? No, I don't mind running on MC. I'll take an hour, baby, surely that's plenty. Cause what a waste when we're turning those lights off. And I feel criminal taking one night off. I know we probably should sleep, but we don't stop. Be my body clock. Turn off the television, I don't wanna listen. Is it bad I don't care about the shit I'm missing? Cause everything I need is sitting in this room. Pretty sure I could live off just a taste of your perfume. Cause here at number 26,
every time I fall, 'cause I don't wanna miss a second of it all. Won't you be the reason that I'm up all night, 24/7 and then 365? I think I could stay awake for all my life. 'Cause I know we gotta go sleep, but we don't stop. Could you be my new body clock? No, I don't mind running on empty. I'll take an hour, baby, surely that's plenty. 'Cause what a waste when we're turning those lights off. And I feel criminal taking one night off. I know we probably should sleep, but we don't stop. Be my body clock.
Oh, that's my favorite. That was amazing.
Oh,
Beautiful.
I don't know anything about. Well, I mean, I've got experience of working with artist managers as a writer, as in, their experience of how they tend to view songs and stuff. But how that could not be a single for you, I'm not really sure, based on the little I know about your career. But
Seconded.
yeah,
yeah, no, I feel like really, when you just write something, it feels really special and it feels really important to me right now at this point in my life. So I just, they like it, and I guess it just depends if the timing is right, and I don't know.
It's such a beautiful expression, body clock, It's just such a cute way to say it. I love it so much.
Thank you. It does make you want to be sick in your mouth a little bit though, doesn't it?
It's not cheesy.
no.
When you can relate to that feeling, it's not cheesy.
Okay, good. Thanks, guys. That makes me feel a bit better.
I think that, I mean, honestly though, I really don't think it's cheesy, and I think it's because I think it was you said something earlier on about only you have your experiences, so only you have had those experiences. So by definition, anything that you can write that is your own story is unique to you. And I think that as long as you write the song in a really detailed way and kind of bring it to life for us, then it works. And you've done that. That first line about the blackout blind and all that, it makes it real straight away. So we're in. I thought it was really beautiful. I loved it.
Thank you. I will relay it back to my manager.
Relay it back.
He said I should release it.
We'll keep an eye on your release schedule. So what are you going to play for us to close the evening out?
I am going to play. This feels like a gig, right? So I'll probably just play my song that I'm probably most proud of to date. And this week, I just found out that it's on I got my first radio playlist for it on Radio 2, and it's just been a mad week. Thanks, yeah, just a super exciting time. And I wrote this song 2 years ago, and I released it about a year ago, and then I re-released it with an artist called JP Cooper, duetting it with me a couple of months ago. But I'm just gonna obviously not whip JP Cooper out from behind the wall or anything. It's just gonna be me, unfortunately. But it's called Is It Just Me? And yeah, thanks for listening.
Amazing. Thanks, Emily.
It's been way too long for me to find it's hard. Sitting alone, my fingers picking the sofa apart. In an attempt to distract from the fact that I miss you, I wonder if your friends have had to carry home, stay for the night because they don't want to leave you alone. But before it was fun, it's becoming an issue. I know it's cruel, but I kind of hope you're tortured too.
trains cross. Are you hurting? Yeah, you must be. Or is it just me? Tongue-tied, screaming on the inside. When I say that we broke up and they ask why, are you crying in the shower like a freak? Or is it just me? I heard of a rumor you've been spending some time with that blonde girl you work with, and I know she's exactly your type. And my miserable mind's running wild with the picture. Were you there by yourself, telling me, darling, my number, and I'm calling your mother, spilling tears on my jumper again? The way I am, I know it's cruel, but I kind of hope you're tortured too. Tell me, does your heart stop at the party when my name drops? Like you stood at the platform when the trains cross. Are you hurting? Yeah, you must be. Or is it just me? Tongue-tied, screaming on the inside. When I say that we broke up and they ask why, are you crying in the shower like a freak? Or is it just me? 'Cause this would be one whole lot easier. God, I know that's selfish, but it's true. If underneath some calm exterior, you're all fucked up too. Tell me, does your heart stop at the party when my name drops? Like you stood at the platform to trains cross. Are you hurting? Yeah, you must be. Or is it just me? Tongue-tied, screaming on the inside. When I say that we broke up and they ask why, are you crying in the shower like a freak? With only cigarettes for company. Are you crying in the shower like a freak? Or is it just me?
Fantastic. Well, congratulations to you, Emily. I'm just having a look here. So you've got, Radio 2 playlists, week commencing 30th of February. The B list goes Ariana Grande, Celeste, and then Emily Burns and JB Cooper. Is it just me? There it is. So, well done. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
No,
Yeah, just to end.
I'm so sorry. I must say that I'm such a fan of the music video. It's just incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's so like touching. That's the word, touching.
Thanks. Yeah, I have
cool.
to give shout out to Louis Berry, who directed it. He's like just a sick director, and we just said like we wanted to create this idea of being unable to get back to each other, like as much as you kind of don't want to break up, but you have to. So it's like he just created this division down the middle of the screen, and the dancers in the video are like so incredible. So I just a little plug there.
Amazing. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Great. Well, thank you so much. So Emily, I mean, thank you so much to you for joining us. It's so nice to have you with us and to hear your amazing work and to hear about your experiences of writing and co-writing. And we hope that you'll come back and do one of these again some point. It's really nice to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would love to. It's been very inspiring for me as well. So thank you.
Great. Great. I'm glad. So yeah, thank you to Emily. Thank you. I just want to say thank you to all of you as well. So thank you to you, Lauren, for your lovely songs and for joining the round. I know, particularly as a first year and sort of, I don't know, it's fair. I find it quite nerve-wracking, these things. So, respect for doing that. Thank you to you, Emily, as well. Emily Harbord, for sharing your work. It's great that you're bringing co-writes. I love it. I love that that's happening. That's one of the things that I feel really passionate about, especially someone like ICMP. You know, you've got just all of these amazing creative people, and it's so great when you collaborate. And then thank you, Aisha. Thank you, Bernard. So Bernard, obviously I'm teaching you at the moment, so I look forward to kind of getting to know you more. And Aisha, I think I'll be teaching you next year, right? So yeah, and then thank you as well. So thank you to all of you at home who've joined us. Really been a lovely evening, and even though we can't see you, we have felt your presence all throughout, and we really appreciate you you listening to our songs and listening to us talk about our songs. Thank you also to Lasse, who you can't see. We can see him, but the audience can't. Lasse is ICMP's basically in-house TV producer now, so has worked out a great way to make all of this work and sound and look good. So we really appreciate you as well. And yeah, so the next Songwriters Circle is going to be on the 23rd of March. It's going to be an all-female round hosted by Lisa Canny, who I'm very proud to say is someone that I brought to ICMP. So I was put together with her by a Nashville publisher, actually, and she showed up at my place in London a few years ago, and it was one of those things, those co-writes where we just hit it off, and it was a wonderful connection. And eventually I managed to convince her to come and do some teaching at ICMP as well, which so we're very grateful to have her. And actually just this weekend just gone, she was on ITV for the Ireland-France rugby game, playing a song to represent Ireland. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, she's going to be hosting the next round, so you can expect that to be quite lively with her great big Irish personality. Thank you, everyone. Everyone. Okay.
Yes.
Bye.
Stay safe.
See you.
See you later, guys.
Bye.